Okay, hi. So we're back. I'm going to finish up chapter 23 and maybe get a little bit further. All right, so chapter 20, sorry, verse 20. Boy, okay. And he slew all the priests of the high places that were there upon the altars and burnt men's bones upon them and returned to Jerusalem. So he's cleaning out the land, okay? And the king commanded all the people, saying, keep the Passover unto the Lord your God, as it is written in the book of the covenant, the book of the law. 10 Commandments, I guess. And surely there was not holden such a Passover from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor in all the days of the kings of Israel, nor of the kings of Judah. So, great Passover feast, okay? But in the 18th year of King Josiah, wherein his Passover was holden to the Lord in Jerusalem. Moreover, the workers with familiar spirits, and the wizards, and the images, and the idols, and the abominations that were spied in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem, did Josiah put away, that he might perform the words of the law which were written in the book of Hilkiah, the priest found in the house of the Lord. So this is all witchcraft, okay? Not good. And like unto him, there was no king before him that turned to the Lord with all of his heart, and with all of his soul, and with all of his might, according to the law of Moses, neither after him arose there any like him. Notwithstanding, the Lord turned not from the fierceness of his great wrath, wherein his anger was kindled against Judah, because of all of the provocations that Manasseh had provoked him withal. And the Lord said, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel, and will cast off the city Jerusalem which I have chosen, and the house of which I said my name shall be there. Now the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did are, let's see, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Blah, 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 blah. Now the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles and the Kings of Judah? In the days Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and the king Josiah went against him, and he slew him at Megiddo when he had seen him. And his servants carried him in a chariot dead from Megiddo, brought him to Jerusalem, buried him at his own sepulchre. And all the people of the land took Jehoiahchim, the son of Josiah, and anointed him and made him king in his father's stead. Jehoiahchim was 23 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. They are evildoers, by the way. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his fathers had done. And Pharaoh Necho put him in bands at Riblah, the land of Hamath, that he might not reign in Jerusalem, and put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. And Pharaoh Necho made Jehoiahchim, son of Josiah, king in the room of Josiah his father, and turned his name to, changed his name to Jehoiahkim, and took Jehoiahaz away, and he came to Egypt and died there. And Jehoiahkim gave the silver and gold to Pharaoh, but he taxed the land to give the money according to the commandments of Pharaoh. He exacted the silver and gold of the people of the land, of every one, according to his taxation, to give it unto Pharaoh and these names are killing me. Jehoiahkim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zedekiah. Sorry, these names. Okay, and the daughter of Pizalah of Ramah, and he did that which was an evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his fathers had done. I don't have the neurons connection for all these names, you know. I was raised in a land that spoke English. Okay. All right, chapter 24. Excuse me. Okay, so Jehoiahkim procures his own reign. Jehoiachin succeeds him. Jerusalem is taken. Zedekiah's evil reign. In his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, remember him? Okay. Came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant for 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. Oh, that's not going to be good. Okay. And the Lord sent against him bands of the Chaldees, and bands of the Syrians, and bands of the Moabites, and bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the word of the Lord, which he spoke by his servants the prophets. Surely at the commandment of the Lord came this upon Judah, to remove them out of his sight, and the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he did, and also for the innocent blood that he shed, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which the Lord would not pardon. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiahkim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the king of Judah? So Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiachin his son reigned in his stead. The king of Egypt came not again any more out of his land, for the king of Babylon had taken from the river of Egypt to the river of the Euphrates all that pertained to the king of Egypt. Jehoiachin was 18 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. And his mother's name was Nebushta, the daughter of Elnathan of Jerusalem. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his fathers had done. At the time the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city, and his servants did besiege it. And Jehoiachin, the king of Judah, went out to the king of Babylon, he and his mother and his servants, and his princes and officers. And the king of Babylon took him in the 8th year of his reign. And he carried out thence all of the treasures of the house of the Lord, the treasures of the king's house, and cut in pieces all the vessels of gold which Solomon king of Israel had made in the temple of the Lord, as the Lord had said. Wow. And he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the princes, and all the mighty men of valor, even 10,000 captives, and the craftsmen, the smiths. None remain. Everybody, from rich to poor, everybody. Carried away Jehoiakim to Babylon, king's mother, king's wives, officers, the mighty land, those he carried into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon. And all the men of the might, even 7,000, craftsmen, smith, thousands, all that were strong and apt for war, even them the king of Babylon brought captive to Babylon. And the king of Babylon made Mantana, his father's brother, king instead, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that Jehoiahkim had done. For through the anger of the Lord it came to pass that Jerusalem and Judah, until he had cast them out of his presence, that Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. Chapter 25. Jerusalem again besieged, Zedekiah taken, his sons slain, and his eyes put out, etc. It came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his host, against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and built forts against and around about. The city was besieged into the 11th year of the king of Zedekiah. And on the 9th day of the 4th month the famine prevailed in the city. There was no bread for the people of the land. The city was broken up. The men of the war fled by night by the way of the gate between the two walls, which is by the king's garden. Now the Chaldees were against the city round about. The king went away toward the plain, and the army of the Chaldees pursued after the king and took him in the plains of Jericho, and all of his armies were scattered from him. So they took the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon, to Riblah, and they gave judgment upon him. And they slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, and put out the eyes of Zedekiah, and bound him with feathers of brass, and carried him to Babylon. In the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuchadnezzar, captain of the guard, of servant of the king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem. And he burnt the house of the Lord, and the king's house, and the houses of Jerusalem, and every great man's house burnt he with fire. And the army of the Chaldees that were with the captain of the guard broke down the walls of Jerusalem round about. And the rest of the people that were left in the city, the fugitives that fell away at the king of Babylon with the remnant of the multitude, did Nebuchadnezzar, the captain of the guard, carry away. And the captain of the guard left the poor of the land to be vine-dressers and husbandmen. And the pillars of the brass that were in the house of the Lord, and the brass of the brazen sea that was in the house of the Lord, did the Chaldees break into pieces, and carry the brass of them to Babylon. And the pots and the shovels, the snuffers, the spoons, the vessels, the brass, wherewithin they ministered, and took they away. The firepan, the bowls, such things that were gold, and silver, and the captain of the guard took away 2 pillars, 1 sea, and the brass which Solomon had made for the house of the Lord. The brass in all of these vessels was without weight. The height of one pillar was 18 cubits. The chapter upon it was brass, the height of the chapter 3 cubits, and the weathering work, the pomegranates upon the chapter are all around about it on the top of the pillar. The brass and everything was taken. And the captain of the guard took Saliah, the chief of priests, Zephaniah, the second priest, and the keepers of the door. And out of the city he took the officers and sent the men of war, and 5 men of them that were in the king's presence, that were found at the city, and the principal scribe of the host, and mustered the people in the land, and 60 of the men and the people of the land that were found in the city. Nebuchadnezzar, captain of the guard, took these and brought them to the king of Babylon, to Riblah. The king of Babylon smote them, slew them. Riblah and the land of Hamath of Judah carried away out of their land. And as for the people that remained in the land of Judah that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had left, even over them he made Gedaliah, the son of Achim, the son of Sephar, ruler, and the captains and the armies and their men, and the king of Babylon he had made Gilead governor, and came to Gilead Mepaz, Ishmael, the son of Nevanah, Johanan, son of Sariah, Syria, the son of Natunameth, and Netonite, and Jephaniah, the son of Manathite, they